We're live.
Episode 200. You
Yay.
can stop it.
With everybody. Oh man, party time. We're here. Look at this. It's still going. It's still going.
It's the pre-show. We can let it go for a while.
We can do whatever we want.
I told all 4 of my kids to just keep blowing.
So this is real noise then. Nice. Real sound sample.
No, it is just a sound effect. All right, we're here.
We are.
Episode 200.
Yeah.
Special one today.
This is the pre-show. This will not be in the live feed, so thanks for everyone who is joining us live. We got Jackie Lipinski, who will be manning the chat service. I'll pull up chat later once the energy lowers in my body and I can pay attention to multiple things at once. Since we're not technically recording the real podcast yet, I wanted to pull up this article for us to look at real quick. To give you a couple of seconds to think about your favorite memory of either working at Do You Convert so far, crazy, silly, fun, or the podcast. But this was hilarious. I thought this article from Wall Street Journal, it says your distracted coworker is probably on Zillow. Remote work's most insidious addiction just might be real estate. And basically saying that it's so hard to find a house that the advantage goes to people working from home. So it started as a digital fantasy. Then Madeline took things offline, but it's talking about
it's like a romance novel.
Zillowing at work.
Oh man, yeah, I agree.
What a crazy market.
We did do that for fun.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it still fun or is it painful now? Is the question.
It's probably like when I was shopping for a Xbox Series X or a PS5 for our oldest. Like at first I'm like, oh, this is great. I got plenty of time, Christmas, and I was starting in June, 6 months. And then August came around. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, what is going on? And it's, a purchase, which means nothing. It's not a house. Right. It's like this thing I was just trying to do. And after a while, I'm like, this is stressing me out. This is stressing me out. But the only way I did get it was like notification at like 10 a.m. Most people working. I was able to just jump Best Buy and get it and purchase the thing. So similar, but it was not fun. No, the first week was, but afterwards, done with that.
Not.
Well, we wanted to let as many people from the team who could get on to celebrate the 200th episode, because you've heard all their voices, but we've never had this many people on at once, nor will we put you through the whole episode of us over talking each other. But everyone on the team has been an important part of the show, so we wanted to get everyone on here at the beginning. So this is a version of what we do every week in our huddles anyway, where we just talk about happy and crappy highs and lows for the week. But so starting in my left, Julie, you go first. Podcast memory or Do You Convert memory?
Oh, well, we just talked about it earlier. I think it was my first or second day with Do You Convert. And Kevin was like, oh, yeah, you're going to be on the podcast here in an hour. And I was like, oh,
Good luck.
freaking me out a little bit. So, but I learned that at Do You Convert, you just jump in with both feet and get started. And it was fun and it went great. And so that's how it started.
And then we said, oh, by the way, you're going to present at the Builders Show. There you go.
Have fun.
So
I know. I was wondering because y'all have never seen me speak or do anything. You just kind of trusted me to do it. So thanks for that.
yeah, you did awesome too. All right, next up, Sarah.
Oh my gosh, so many. I think my favorite part of working at Do You Convert so far was teaching at the academy. That's amazing, just getting the opportunity to kind of share digital knowledge with other marketers in the home building industry. So that's amazing. And then meeting everybody in person for the first time at the last summit was great, because I mean, working remotely is awesome. But seeing everybody in person, everybody could see how short I am.
Yeah, that is one thing. Everybody's taller or shorter than you think.
And my favorite part of you teaching at the academy was because I still did about 20% of what I normally do with the crew. And then afterwards we circled up and everyone was kind of like, yeah, Sarah did it better. You don't have to be there as much anymore, Kevin. She's better at all this stuff. So fantastic to have you with us. Jackie Lipinski.
Sarah stole mine. It was the summit. I felt like I've been the attendee for so long, and now I got to work, one, planning and marketing it, and two, being with the team and seeing how it runs on the DYC team. So that was super fun, and looking forward to 2022.
And we need more people who like events, because the logistic part of events makes me like, I mean, I'm excited when the summit happens, but planning it all and getting it going, that's a lot of work. Samantha.
I guess for me, joining the DYC team this past year has been my highlight. I've been a long-time listener and fan since I started in the industry, so it's super exciting to now be a part of the team.
And so can you confirm to everyone that it's still work?
Yes, it's still work.
So there is still, we don't just hang out.
It's fun, but it's work.
That's right. And if you want to, go ahead and drop a comment in. So we are giving away cash. We'll talk about this here in a second once the show actually starts. So everyone else has context, but we are giving away cold hard cash at random to someone who makes an individual comment. So you don't comment 10 times just to have 10 entries. That's not how it works. It's just one entry per comment. But if you want to go ahead and get your comment out of the way by just sharing your favorite podcast memory, or do you convert memory, keep it appropriate. I don't know what would be inappropriate, but keep it appropriate.
I'm sure there's something. Someone can take it. There has to be something.
Becca.
My favorite thing at DYC is teaching marketers how to do digital marketing, and seeing them kind of make the connection and then start to be able to make those changes and things happen on their end.
Yeah. And I think people still aren't quite sure exactly all that we do on the marketing end. That's partly by design.
Yeah.
But we do teach. We don't just do, we teach. And that is always fun when you see people grow and develop. Bryce.
Ooh, I think one of my favorite things, first off, would be like the growth within the company, but also growth within the marketers that we're currently working with all the time. But also one of my favorite DYC memories is the baby photos from our last Christmas party. Like those were great, but
those were great. I won that contest, by the way. I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but anyway.
That was a test to see who was the most competitive. Because I promise you, if Mike or Jen were on this call,
I think Mike actually won.
They would know who won. Salespeople are so competitive, right?
But
Andrew.
Growth.
Oh yeah, I'll piggyback on everyone's, which is interesting. So yeah, growth is a big one. I don't know what employee number you could count me, but it was Kevin and Mike for the most part. Then like, here comes Andrew. I think it was 2015 or 16, whatever it was. It feels like forever ago at this point, because now we're 2022. I'm like, oh my goodness. I was pulling up notes on like, all right, let's look at the old podcast outline from like 2018. So I have some of those I went through memory lane on before we started this. But yeah, just seeing it grow from Mike and Kevin, and then me, and then we got Becca, and Jackie, and we have Jen, and just to everyone else, which has been awesome. And then also my first summit, and then all the summits after that. But we talk with all our builders all week long, all month long. We interact with them all the time, and then you put a face to a name. You're like, oh, you're real people. Like I'm real too. This is great. We get to meet in 3D in real life, and just seeing that has been it makes the months between those times where we aren't seeing people in person. Like, okay, we're real. This is great. Let's keep pushing. Yeah. It is. I got to go visit another builder last week, and it's always so refreshing. Even though my family's like, do you have to get on another plane? And sometimes my client is also like, do you really need to get on another plane? And then when I get out there, I'm like, yes, I need to get on another plane, which I'll share in my story time. My favorite memory / experience. Experience would be the slow-mo booth that we had in Phoenix. That was bring it back.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Everyone really, whenever you do something at a cocktail reception, you're never sure what's going to take off and what's not. That took off. And then at the end, I had CK throw a whole bucket of water directly in my face, which we still have that footage somewhere. We need to pull that back out and use it again.
Oh my gosh.
Just that part.
And then, I think what's most surprising to me is when Mike and I first started talking about me leaving the builder world and coming to join him, I remember getting out a piece of paper and being like, okay, if we can work with 10 builders on marketing, this will be awesome. This is like it all works, and we'll do well. We might be able to bring on like half a person to assist us if we need to. and just never imagining we get anywhere close to being over 60 builders with a team of 14 people. I actually like the fact that wasn't planned, and I don't think if we started planning it that way, it could have grown to where it is.
I agree,
because we're just following what builders need and reacting to it, and then finding great people when they happen. Which
versus what we need.
We need some more people. We can't take on builders until we get more people on our team. So unashamed plug. Okay, let's we'll have everyone who's not going to stay with us wave goodbye and hop off, and we'll get ready for the actual show.
See ya.
And for those of you watching behind the scenes, we have a hard stop at 4:15 Eastern because I got to pick up a kid from track practice and get her a COVID test so that we can have my birthday party. So
that's important.
We are definitely going to be done by 4:15 Eastern. So make sure your comment is in before then. All right, I got to turn my party lights back on. And scene. All right, so and we got to do all the sound effects and everything. So quiet for the podcast producer. 1 clap. 2 claps. Welcome to Marketproof Marketing, the weekly podcast from the marketing minds at duconvert.com, where we talk about the current state of all things digital and how they impact home builders and developers around the globe. We're not here to sell you, we're here to help you and to try and elevate the conversation. I'm Kevin Oakley, and with me today, as always, is the ad doctor, Andrew Peak.
As always, this is episode number 200 with Julie Jarnigan.
Yay. So excited to be here for number 200.
I can remember this number.
That's
Each week I'm
awesome.
like, what number is this? What number is this? Even though it's written down right next to me.
So Kevin has said that intro 200 times, or maybe more.
Yeah, at
if
least.
it took more than one take.
At least. That is the other thing I wanted to mention. Of all the episodes and over 4 years, there's only been one time where we have forgotten to hit the record button. That's I'm impressed by that.
Are we recording right now?
It says live. I don't know about the record part, but we're live on
It's out
Facebook.
there.
Actually, you know what? Now we're recording the podcast.
There we go.
Have fun with that, producers.
Let's
All right.
sit together.
We got a time crunch and we got a lot to celebrate. There is $200 in cold hard cash on the line. This is the sound of cold hard cash.
Nice.
Leave a comment if you're on the live stream. A comment is an entry for that $200 prize. That was crowdsourced as a way to celebrate. What was interesting, guys, is I was asking a lot of people, what should we do for the 200th episode? And Jackie Lipinski was like, give everyone an elephant. Like she wanted a marketer, a bigger, badder celebration, the more to promote. But the thing I got back the most actually was, you just keep doing your thing. Like go live was a big one.
Really.
Maybe bring back an old guest. But the biggest thing was, we don't really like those episodes where they just talk about themselves for an hour and don't give us the thing we come here for every week. So
that makes sense.
That's what we're going to do, which means it's time for story time.
Let's do it.
All right, Julie.
Okay, so I'm reading a book right now, 4,000 Weeks. I keep wanting to call it 4,000 Hours, but I'm only like a quarter into it, so I can't tell you whether you should go read it or not. But basically what I get from it so far, the premise is you don't need to just figure out ways to get more things done. You need to make sure you're doing the right things that are priorities in your life. I don't know. I've got to read the rest of it. But there was one line in there that really stood out to me as far as kind of what we do. And it was convenience makes things easy, but without regard to whether easiness is truly what's most valuable in any given context. And I thought that line related to so many things that we talk about all the time as marketers. You know, a lot of times we want to say, we want to communicate to people, oh, building a home is easy with these few steps. Well, it's not easy. You know, nobody would ever do build on your lot if it was about easiness. So sometimes, yeah, we can communicate that there's an easy next step, but sometimes we need to look more at what people actually value and what we can provide to people of that value than focusing so much on giving them that easy button that doesn't really exist necessarily, especially right now. Yeah.
Well, and I think why I love that, it really actually amps me up hearing you talk about that, because what we said for a long time is if it's easy, everyone will do it, which means it's not unique, not different, not special. I was watching a Bluey episode because that's my kids, my boys, 7 and 9, love Bluey. If you haven't seen it, it is hilarious little 5-minute clips of an animated dog from Australia. But they had a big pile of toys that they were like, which ones are we going to give away? Which ones are we going to keep? And they're like, keep them all. We actually need more. Can you buy us more? And the lesson of the episode was, if you have everything you want, you don't really value anything that you have. And some of that same idea is if it's really easy, you should be looking for the things that are easy and other people aren't doing, because then that's at least a differentiation. And there's probably a reason that people aren't doing it, because there's some mental barrier they got to push past. But I think that's, if you're trying to figure out why don't people value what I'm doing, if you're doing too many easy things, even if you're doing them well, it's not going to be valued the same as if you're accomplishing a couple hard things too.
It's very true. Very true. Why is it 4,000 weeks? I just did the math. That's 76 years. Is that
how many weeks are in your life? So that's what they're saying. Like it goes by. It goes by quickly, and so what are you really doing?
I was thinking, I'm like, that has to be that.
Hey, Sally posted in the live feed. Are you celebrating with some green? Yes, that's the cash. Cash is the green.
Yeah, green.
It's St. Patrick's Day as we record the episode. Andrew, what do you got?
I have a few quick ones, few lighthearted ones. So we had a marketing meeting earlier, like a few hours ago. It's spring break week this week, which is great if you work from home. We've always been from home or distributed workforce. I hear the microwave beep. I'm like, oh, cool. The boys are making lunch. I go out there and I catch my 6-year-old, the middle child. He has oven mitts on and a ramen noodle packet, and it's like black and it smells like something's burning. I'm like, oh, okay. I thought it was like, oh, they're overcooking popcorn.
He didn't take the lid off or add water.
They put it in the microwave. Like it said, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it's not like cup of noodles, like where you put the water in there.
Microwave at all,
they just put the bag in there, open it up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like the house almost burnt down over on this thing. So that was a mess. The next one was, I just thought it was funny going through this email.
No lessons from the ramen, just follow directions. Like, follow directions. That's
read the instructions. Read the manual. If you can't figure something out, you might need to read it. So don't ask for help. Just read the manual. From January 17, 2018, I'd sent an email to Kevin, podcast name Brain Dump. And there are some terrible names. So here's, I think, few worst ones was Between Two Nerds, which is a knockoff of Between Two Ferns from that series. Builder Marketing Institute. Ugh, that sounds creepy, doesn't it? Builder Marketing Tribe, Builder Marketing Masterminds, Builder Marketing Playbook. I think that was used a while ago. And then at the end, the screenshot, which is funny, it's like, that's 3:15 p.m. And then 10 minutes later, I send over Marketproof Marketing, like as like afterwards. Boom. There you go. There's the name. So all these, I failed. And then sure enough, there's the name. And then I also pulled up, this is my last story, episode number 2 for the podcast. At the very end, we talked about, there's a question of the week. Hey, when am I ready for online chat? Great question. And there's these list of specs. I don't know if these hold true.
That was 4 years ago.
This is 4 years ago. So let's see if any of these are still true. Your answered call rate on all phone calls is consistently over 80%. Your overall response time to email/form leads is consistently under 5 to 10 minutes. Your current website converts leads above 1.5% for sessions. Your online sales team has the margin to take on chat. Chats can last 10 seconds to 30 seconds or so. Probably longer than
up to 30 minutes. Yeah.
30 minutes. 30 minutes at a time. Okay. Carry over.
I think the only thing that's different would be that the majority of the builders right now have closer to a 2% conversion on their website activity. So everything else kind of would still apply. And the reason I hit the rim shot was because if you have an answer rate that is that good right now, you are one
80.
of the few.
Yep.
You're one of the few, just because of the volume and the off balance of supply and demand. So
yeah, I thought
thanks for that trip down memory lane, Andrew.
There you go. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Do you guys actually, pop quiz, what episode do you think has been the most popular? I'll give you some hints. It is an episode with a guest, and it was a guest that we had on another milestone episode.
Well, I think I remember we used to have
our good buddy Will Duderstadt here.
Did we used to have topics and guests at the same time?
Yes.
I think we did. So this is getting sneaky. It wasn't like separate. I have an idea. I don't know if that's fair if I answer it. I won't answer first.
Yeah, no, you go. You can go.
I think the broken community one is definitely one of the most popular ones.
That is a top 10. That is a top 10. But no, we had a guest on this episode, and it was another milestone. So like 50th
Julie,
episode,
I know the answer you
episode,
should say to get.
You only
like
really
a
have
gift.
4 choices: 50th, 100th, 150th, or this one, which would be.
I can't remember the numbers
strange
anyway.
if
Maybe
one.
one of the pre-sale without fail, like a Ashley DeYoung.
Also a top 25. I did look at all this. It is top 25. Ashley, good job. Mr. Jeff Shore, 928 streams.
Nice.
Between
What number was
Spotify,
that? 100.
Episode 50.
We should have
50.
known that.
Okay.
Episode 50. Yeah.
Nice.
So that gives something for us
One
to
and
shoot
only
for.
Jeff Shore.
We got to beat with the next guest, whoever that is comes on. We got to get you to 1,000. All right, I got some rapid fire story time things. I feel like I've missed an episode, but I haven't. I just have a lot to talk about. The first thing I'm actually incredibly excited for is we have finally found a way to get Facebook, Instagram ads to go back to 2019 level effectiveness. I could not be happier about this because ever since the privacy stuff, it hasn't been super dramatic, like it doesn't work at all, but the cost per click and the amount of attention that you could purchase from social channels in comparison to search or other sources, it was just getting awful expensive in comparison to. And so to be able to, over the tests we've been running the last couple weeks now, to get back to like 15 to 20 cent cost per link click, not interaction with the ad, especially if you're doing engagement as a goal, but actual getting traffic to a builder's site, and the quality of that traffic to basically be the same as what the other tactics we were previously using. I was like, hallelujah, it's like seeing an old friend back. And I know there's all kinds of controversy around platforms and everything else, but in terms of driving results for builders, not that anyone or most anyone needs an extra couple thousand people to come to their site these days. That's kind of where I'm going next, but man, it's good to have that back. The other thing, let's see, I'm going to have to pull it up here real quick, but I wanted to show you guys and gals, the latest aggregate data studio chart, because the other trend that we're seeing overall is just that website activity and lead volume is down in comparison to prior months. And pre-pandemic, March was usually like the peak. January would be certainly much better than December, but then February, a little bit better. And then March was usually the month where walk-in traffic and website traffic and all those things really started taking off. And now it's not really that way. In fact, if you listen to last week's episode, Super Bowl has marked the beginning of the decline the last 2 years, this year and 2021. So what that means is on calls with builders, what we tend to hear is we're still blowing away our sales goals. We don't know how we're going to build all these things. Prices are going up every third sale, second sale. We've stopped selling. All those things are true. And yet there's still this kind of uneasiness about website activity and or lead volume decreasing compared to prior weeks. Well, it goes into prices going up. And I know Jackie Lipinski doesn't like it when we take our faces away on live stream, so I won't do this very long. But if you look at the red lines I'm going to mark here, this is 2020, 21, 2022 in blue down here, Super Bowl. And so the trend is definitely down. It's been a little bit more scattered because of the war in Ukraine and interest rates and other things, but the general direction is down like last year, partly because of market dynamics, builders not allowing people to purchase, lots and lots of reasons. But at the end of the day, we have to keep reminding ourselves and our teams that sales are a function of appointments with customers. It is not a direct function of lead volume, and it's not a direct function of traffic, whatever that means to you. It's individual conversations, meaningful conversations around price that happen online or off. We call those appointments. And we don't need 100 appointments to get 10 sales. In today's market, it's very common for builders to have 6 appointments and get 3 sales. But if you're a salesperson or an owner, or lots of people in an organization, it's like, how long can that continue? And that's where people feel uneasy. Spoiler alert, it's already been happening for a long time. And interest rates look like they're just going to ease up over time, not be overly drastically shooting up unless something changes. That's good. And the other good news is from Altos Research, this past week was the first time that we had more existing homes for sale around the country than we did the prior week. It was only 1,500 more, but we weren't going down in terms of supply. And so I think what's going to happen is something similar to last year, where last year it was in July where the down slope stopped and it went back up all the way until Thanksgiving. That's because one builder said, hey, all those inventory homes we started, you can buy them now. And we started marketing a little bit more. The other reason is that the existing market had more homes come on the market as well. And so if you're driving to work, if you still do that and you don't commute at home, you saw a house for sale, a new sign in the yard, you think, oh, wow, there's more homes on the market. Maybe I'll start my own home buyer journey again. And then builders become part of that process. But for whatever reason, people still, and again, we talked about why, and I understand why, they still feel uneasy about the front end metrics maybe being a little bit slower. But at the same time, just today on a call, what do we advertise if we don't have anything to sell? What's the reason to have the conversation? It's one thing to say, we're going to let you start buying homes again, pre-sale homes in May. So come on out now and design the home of your dreams so that you're ready. But if you're saying we don't plan to sell pre-sale homes again until we don't know when, and we don't have any for sale right now, and we can't tell you when they're coming. Just lots of things to think about there, and make sure your team is on the same page, sales and marketing are on the same page, leadership's on the same page. The last thing is
another one.
Using technology to help crowdsource content is something that I don't think is new, but there's new technology coming, and I'm going to talk about it on my webinar with ECI on March 23rd. There's a new service that uses box brownie-like photo fixes, but does it 100% using computers. There is no human to interact with. And so that means the pricing is even less. You can batch those photos. And now they also have a tool that can live outside of your site where you can just say, hey, salespeople, construction team members, you just take every picture your little heart desires and upload it here. And then the marketing team can go through and curate, select, the 30 best pictures, hit a single button. All 30 pictures get automatically optimized and sent to the CMS of your website for you to work with. So I think as we have all these inventory homes being built, a lot of people have been talking about difficulty of getting just the sheer amount of documentation, but still trying to do it nicely in the content that they need. And so we'll talk more about that at the webinar.
Yeah, especially if you want more frequent updates. If you're like every 3 weeks, every whatever amount of weeks, you can have a photographer out there all the time. That will just
exactly.
Quite expensive.
Holy cow, time is flying. All right.
15 minutes.
Moving on to the news with a quick break for our partners. This is my little partner music that we've added in. Transition.
Nice little vibe.
No more typewriter, Andrew. Episode 200. We're upgrading everything. Open Door partners with home builders across the country in over 2,000 sales offices and has helped generate more than $2 billion in new construction home sales. As a builder sales associate, you can provide flexible close dates to help customers avoid double moves and mortgages by closing anytime from 14 days to 9 months, and offer a complimentary 2-day late checkout from their current home to help alleviate the stress of moving. Go to opendoor.com/doyouconvert to learn more about how you can partner with Open Door. All right, rapid fire on the news front because holy smokes, we got a lot. But Online Sales and Marketing Summit, get on the list. Tickets to the VIP list will open up in April. We are in sunny Phoenix, Arizona, September 20th and 21st. The site is up. Go check it out. Go watch the hype video from last year's event. Look at all the interviews, check out the Canby. We're taking over the whole thing. So that's the first one. The second one is the Marketproof Marketing Academy. I believe, let's check live. There are 3 spots left. Someone else bought a ticket while I wasn't looking.
Yeah, about 5 minutes
3 spots left there. Don't have time to talk about anything else about it. And then Marketproof Awards. Julie Jarnigan did, 20 different video interviews. 20. All the winners from 2021 are listed here as well as on our site. When you click through, you will see, look at this, a 9-minute and 30-second video with the winner talking about their award, what they did, how they did it, what they would suggest you do as trying to solve the same problems. We've got blog posts right along with it. It's amazing. You can also sign up there to be alerted when submissions for 2022 Marketproof Awards opens up very soon. I think that was a record. All right, on to the real news. Man, we don't even have time for this one. We'll link this in the show notes, guys, but another Wall Street Journal article that caught my eye. Homes earned more for owners than their jobs last year. So check this
neat,
crazy stat out.
Way to look at it.
That is one way to do it. It's not liquid, but I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
Zillow Group reported that the average U.S. home rose 19.6% in 2021, which is an average increase of $52,667. And the average U.S. full-time worker, or the median U.S. full-time worker, earns $50,000 last year before taxes. So they're talking about actual income there. I just thought that was crazy.
That's crazy.
I mean, you read a headline like that and you think it's fake news or just something to get you to click, and you're like, now to your point, Andrew, you can't necessarily just go spend it, but you could get a home equity line to get a lot of it.
There you go.
Pulled out if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Next up from our friends at Zelman and Associates. Hi, Ivy. Miss you. We should do another podcast soon. They did a really interesting analysis of SG&A expenses of public home building companies. I'm going to say that again, of public home building companies. They analyzed public home building companies. However, what they found is that the average spend percentage on advertising expenses as a percentage of revenue has declined from 1.3% in 2011 all the way down to 0.3% in 2021. 0.3% spent on advertising. Now, some quick context. When I was at NVR, as an employee, our goal was 0.7. And I think they didn't really like that my goal was 0.7. Heartland, our brand, was a little bit higher. So even back then, that was 2012, we were significantly below kind of this average. But I also want to just say that certainly public builders can scale many things, advertising being one of them, more effectively and efficiently than smaller builders. The other is we don't necessarily know that how each one of these builders categorizes advertising as opposed to marketing.
That's my thought. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, what is this? I think so. We'll assume this is Facebook ads, Google ads, like distribution of what we're making. But is it measured the same? To your point, Kevin.
Yeah, like the sales office signage in one builder go under marketing expenses / signage expenses, or just advertising, right? And so, but it's either way. You cut it. That's a lot of less money that's being spent. Yeah. I mean, if you do, which I can't. Let's just pick what's DR Horton, like 12 billion. That's probably low now. 14 billion in revenue. 14. If you save an extra 1% of 14 billion, that's a lot of. That's more than our giveaway.
My way.
I'm pretty sure on this episode.
a little bit less. So I wonder if that's out of some markets. So homes are selling more easily on their own, but also like, are they forced to lower their advertising because they're limiting sales? So it's kind of like all these different factors are in place, but definitely demand is insane.
Yeah,
so push this bunch.
Do we think that Taylor Morrison spent nothing on their buy online program? It probably just wasn't under advertising, to build out the system, to create the tools. So that's not my only hope. It sounds like a Star Wars reference. My main hope is that builders are continuing to invest in marketing, but by all means, reduce expenses wherever you can in advertising.
Agreed.
And the differences there, again, we don't have time to go into now. Our listeners know those differences well. I think we've talked a lot about it, but you don't have to spend advertising dollars. But keep marketing, keep creating content, keep improving your website, keep working towards the future of how homes are bought and sold. I think all makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, up from builderonline.com, why millennials are leaning heavily towards new builds. Not only do they want to buy new houses, they are likely to recommend the process to their friends. This was interesting.
Sounds good to me.
I mean, go ahead, Julie.
No, I thought it was interesting. Some of the things they were saying, the reasons for kind of contradicted each other. Like they're ready to move into no changes, but you can customize. Whereas I feel like there was more of a trend of people going and rehabbing old houses than there is now for some reason. And I'm not sure the reason, but I thought that was
because they're working from home,
interesting.
so they have all kinds of time to rehab their house. That's it. I'm joking.
Rehab.
Yeah.
Reminder, we've been fully remote from the beginning of Do Convert, so we're not afraid of that at all.
And they just talked about how they have more of a pride of ownership when they actually have gone through the build process and the new process and customized. I thought that was interesting too.
Yeah, like a baby being born, kind of the same process of watching it being built, and they want to be involved. Yep. And that's where if you're a builder that says, "Get the heck away from my home site, you're not allowed here. What are you doing?" You're missing out on an opportunity with this group. Yeah. But I would say all groups right now.
Yeah, I think it could be another thing. It's just the finances of millennials compared to, say, a older generation. Like they might have their down payment money, but then once that's in, there's not money left, cash left over to then rehab or fix a home, improve it, upgrade it. So if they purchase an older home, which it seems like most that I see in my area, you have to do something. Well, you put that down payment down, well, there goes the majority of your cash. You're not going to then spend 40, 50, 60,000 to remodel the kitchen. You don't have that anymore.
Well,
so
you can't find anybody to remodel the kitchen.
Yeah, so there's all these things. So like, I could just get this brand new home. The value is, at least for us, the value of buying new. And this was 2018. We signed our contract, moved in 2019. But the value of this house versus what we were able to buy with the same budget was just like, why would we even like consider existing for the area that we live in? It's just did not make any sense.
Well, and when the article talks about patience being required, and I think that's also really interesting. A lot has been talked about and needing to inoculate our customers with proper expectations. But if you get your customers to help prep other customers with those expectations, like it's different to hear someone who went through the process and say, you know what, at the end of the day, you're going to love your house. It is going to be a longer process than you're probably expecting. That coming from another customer is, I think, infinitely more effective than the builder saying, because how does it come across from the builder? Anything other than we're just really slow. It's like,
yeah, there's no positive. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like telling somebody to calm down who's mad. You just need to be patient. That's not going to go over well.
Like, don't tell me to be patient.
Yeah. Next up from Zillow.mediaroom.com. Buyers pay up to 3.7% more for homes that work hard and play hard. Boy, Zillow, you get all the love on the 200th episode here with these articles. Sustainable, eco-friendly features can contribute to homes selling up to 10 days faster than expected. Things like a broadband internet connection, I think like that's a must. Homes with retreat spaces, like a she shed meditation room. That's interesting. Can sell for around 2% more. EV chargers and drought-resistant landscaping also. So some features that work hard, meaning let you work productively, remotely, is really important. And then the play hard are those fun spaces. And then sustainability kind of encapsulates all of it. But I thought top 10 features that sell homes for more than expected. I don't think anyone's going to guess number one.
Some of these surprised
no one's going to guess that one.
A steam oven.
What is this? I will Google it later.
Isn't that like a turbo, like Turbo Chef used to be
convection
a brand back
oven.
in the day. It's using steam. And I don't know.
I Googled it. It's supposed to be healthy, but yeah, it surprised me that it was number one on the list.
Doesn't it cook faster too? Or no?
I guess so. We'll need to find out.
I feel like it gives you time back.
Send me a steam oven.
Convection does. I don't know about steam oven.
And then faster features that helps homes sell faster.
Yeah, that first
one's seismic retrofit. I guess that's like for earthquakes, right?
I assume so.
Earthquake protection. EV charging stations.
I can see some of these being very narrow. Like if you're like I have a Tesla. My wife has a Tesla. Oh, that's already in that house. We save some out of pocket money on that. Like that will push you to probably get that home further or quicker. Turf landscaping.
But it also looks like, is it the cause? Is it the reason? Is it the, because some of these are just things that people have put money into. So yeah, those homes that obviously money have been put into are going to sell faster. But is it because of the steam oven, or is it because this is a house that has had
that's in the right location at the right price? Like it just so happens that these things are there.
I love Don's comment here. Pretty sure a for sale sign will sell your home for more than expected and faster than expected right now. Oh, that's so funny. Cute. A for sale sign? You don't do that. Andrew, didn't you say right before we got, someone just went live and was in front of a house saying it's for sale, but wouldn't tell anyone anything about it?
Yeah, and a local Facebook marketing group, the realtor, put the home up and said, here's the specs on it, DM for price. And everyone in the group's like, this is garbage. People are trying to find homes. What are you doing? Wow. It's like, there's no problem with this. So he was not winning any local friends, trying to be that realtor, hiding the price. Yeah, don't do that.
All right. Last up from CNBC.com, the direct-to-consumer craze is slamming into reality. This is just kind of what's happening with advertising generally. And it sounds like they need our help with Facebook, Instagram ad fixes, maybe would help them. But brands like Warby Parker, Stitch Fix, Allbirds pioneered a new form of retail, one that went direct-to-consumer via the internet instead of selling through established outlets. But now, a gloomy confluence of rising Facebook ad prices, worsening ad measurement, soaring shipping costs, newly sober public markets, that means they can't get cash as easily, and smaller than anticipated customer bases are dealing direct-to-consumer companies a harsh blow. So they're losing billions of dollars collectively in their stock's value and underperforming as organizations, partly because they can't do digital marketing as well as they used to, partly because of other things like shipping. But tell me what your thoughts are on this.
Yeah, I'll go first because I used to be in e-commerce, which is great. So in e-commerce world, like it's like day to day. So you have X amount of money. How much profit did we make? Because you're trying to cash flow your advertising costs.
It's like trying to, instead of reinvesting your profits every year into the next year of your business, you're saying you're trying to do that like very quickly. What do we make on Monday that we can reinvest into more ads on Tuesday? Your
spend is say $50,000 per day. Your Warby Parker or Stitch Fix. So do you have that much per week? 5 times 7, 350,000. Mm-hmm. Well, that's profit that you need to earn from that. And so you could have 2 or 3 bad weeks in a row. Now you're negative 800,000 something. So it's very quickly. So if it gets volatile, your attribution, which is what the issue here is what I see is their attribution fell off the cliff. What are they to do? They can't scale. They can't, they're hiring like these experts and gurus like, hey, I know e-commerce. I know this magic formula. They're always chasing these little things that to me, it's fortunate we don't have to deal with that because our buying cycles are completely different. We don't have to worry about a day-to-day profit with our Facebook ads. So, it's definitely a mess. And which should free up money for us, like space for us on Facebook, which hopefully will help out.
Well, and if your like margins are that tight, you can't out Amazon. Like a lot of these things too, if you're going for like a lower price, bigger quantity, it's hard to compete. And then on like the glasses one, my mom the other day just broke her glasses. She had bought it from a place like this and she's like, oh, I need to go into the optometrist. Oh no, I ordered it online. There's a lot of things playing into some of the how things are changing.
Yeah. Especially if your price previously, say they mentioned the gas prices going up, so shipping is more expensive. Mm-hmm. You're no longer as competitive. And it's like, oh, the trade-off, I'll just get it today. I'll spend $20 more locally versus before maybe it was $50 or $30 or $40.
Well, I think before the trade-off was I might pay a little bit more, but I'll get it delivered to me tomorrow. So I don't have to do it. But now because of supply being short of so many things, I find this with my own house stuff. I will be much more likely to go on Home Depot's website, see if they have something in stock at a store nearby. I'm like, it's 10 minutes out of my way. I'll go just pick it up because I don't know if especially if I don't get it from Amazon. If I'm going direct to the provider of a material, I'm going to get that dreaded email in 3 days that says, oh, we're sorry. We actually don't have it. Yeah. Or you're going to get it in 3 months and there are no refunds, that kind of stuff. So, hey, who just bought the ticket to Marketproof Academy?
I don't.
It is our friends from Guatemala.
Really?
For those of you who were able to be at the show when I did my presentation on the Marketproof marketing algorithm, there was a gal there it was like, who's from farthest away from Guatemala. And I said, what are you building? Single family, multifamily? And she said, a city.
So she's like,
so
that's
here is the town. How cool is that? So
that is awesome.
You two brush up on your Spanish because mine's terrible.
Hola.
Yeah, looking forward to that. That's fun.
Okay.
All right. As promised,
4:15
Eastern, I got to go. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us on this 200th episode. Live on the stream. We will pick a winner later this evening. So I'm going to give everyone another hour. I know, don't at me on Twitter, but I'm going to give everyone else an hour to still comment, and then we will pull the winner. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.